Hey guys, this is Mango here, and today I'm bored as hell, so why the fuck not I give you this story about something really interesting. Stay tuned. Hey guys, it's Mango, and well, let me give you the story. So, this happened back in 6th grade, 2018, summer, May. Now, at this time, games like Fortnite were popular, Far Cry 5, and well, I was forced to go on this field trip known as Jizztown. Now, I didn't say the actual name because I'm not trying to get doxxed here, but let's just say that Jizztown was a really boring field trip, right? It was boring. I told my friend Vaden how bored I was there. He agreed. It was basically just Dark RP and 5M slapped on top of it for educational purposes. But in reality, it's just a Mr. Beast challenge of playing Gary's My Dark RP or 5M IRL. So, you guys get the whole point of it now, right? So anyways, I'm bored as hell, we're going home finally. I'm like, thank God. But we have to go to school first, and then, bus dismissal and all that jazz. So we go back to school. Me and my friend Vaden, we talked, and we were like, yeah, this sucks. And he's like, yeah, I agree, it does. And then when bus 68, aka the bus I was, got called, me and Vaden were just so relieved to go back home. Vaden could just go back home, play Gary's Model on his computer. I could just go back home, play some Far Cry 5, and just chill out for the rest of the day. Because one, I was pretty wild back then as a 12-year-old, and two, I was just, done with elementary, because elementary was not perfect for me. And Far Cry 5 was just, like, one of my favorite games at the time, and it still is till this day. So, me and Vaden, we go back to bus, 68, right? Because we sit in the back. And now there's this kid named James in the back. And this named Alana. Now, James, I didn't really like him because, one, he always had a problem with everyone. And two, he was just an ass. While Alana was just a complete hypocrite bitch. So you guys can basically tell, that these were just not really good people to be with. No, James is just being as usual, right? Well, I, of course, had to sit next to James this day. So I did my usual. I just plugged in my earbuds, booted up my phone, and just decided to watch some YouTube on the bus. I did not care if I missed my bus stop. Because, one, well, I simply just did not want to deal with James today. The field trip was boring as hell. Did not like it. And I'm tired. So I just sit there, right? Next thing you know, James comes up and he's like, yo, what's up, fuckboy? Now, he would always call me that because of how I used to look back then. Which, it was hella stupid. I used to have, like, short hair, like, on the top, but really short hair on, like, the sides. And my hair just was not really, like, grown out as it is now. So when James said that to me, I was like, dude, can you just fuck off, man? Like, listen. I had a shitty day. I went to Jizztown for 2 days. I'm just trying to play some Far Cry 5. He's like, oh, you're playing Far Cry 5 because you got the Raptor skin from Fortnite? No, you guys do have to keep in mind, this was back when, like, Fortnite Season 4 came out. So, I'm sitting there, and I'm like, dude, it's just a skin. Just because I'm wearing a skin you don't like doesn't mean I'm mad at the game, dude. It's skill is what makes it good. He's like, yeah, whatever. And then we just go on. And then James decides to smack me in the back of the neck for some reason. Now, his smack went like this. So I quickly responded and smacked the front of his neck like this. I should use my guitar. Anyways, while I did that, kids started to get really shocked in the bus. They were like, yo, that was loud. And I just sat there and I just did not care. Until James stood up looking at me, so I stood up back. And now the bus is like moving, we're like on, like the east-south of the road, right? And basically, I'm just standing there like, okay, yeah, I've done something. And James is like, what the hell is your deal? I'm like, dude, you literally slapped me in the back of the neck. So I slapped you in front of the neck. You shouldn't be talking to other people like that. I mean, hurting other people like that. And now before I get into too detail, no, I didn't Far Cry 5 execute punch him in the neck. Actually, you know what? I'm retarded. I did not slap him in the front of the neck. I meant to say the side. Ugh, my memory. Anyways, James is like, dude, what the hell? I'm like, dude, I did nothing. You're literally being an asshole to other kids, and then yet you started to slap me for like no reason, dude. And James did not like that response. So 12-year-old me saw James's face, and I was like, okay, yeah, I have definitely messed up, or I'm just done. So James decides to full and punch me in the nose and make my nose bleed, and I honestly got pissed. Kids were starting to laugh. Alana was starting to laugh, and I was just like, you know what? If James wants to be like this, he can be like this. So I got pissed, and I decided to just full on beat the living shit out of James. I gave him a black eye and a couple other injuries I don't remember because it was a blur, but I do know for a fact that he does end up rushing back to his seat quickly, and Alana tries to defuse the situation because, well, she's a fucking idiot. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, yeah, who's the tough guy now, is what I said, basically. Because James literally went back to his seat all scared, because he knew for a fact that if he stood there longer, I would have, like, killed him or something. So I obviously have won the fight, basically. I, was pissed. But I know for a fact that, like, yeah, I did win the fight and everything, but I was just pissed. So the bus driver pulls over. She's like, what the hell is going on? James starts saying that it's me, and then I stand up. I'm like, no, this is bullshit. He's harassing other kids, and you don't do anything on this damn bus about it. So I taught him a lesson, is what I said, basically. And the bus driver's like, you know what, I'm taking this to the principal. You both are in trouble. I'm like, alright, do it then. No, I was just angry at this point. Alana was like, oh, Brayden, why did you do that? I told her to shut up, and I just went back on my phone. Now, I'm just angry. Like, my nose is bleeding, the other kid got a black eye, and the other kid just ran back because James knows for a fact that he was going to die if he stood there longer. So, I'm basically angry, right? And then the bus pulls up to my stop, I look out, I get out of the bus, go straight home, walked home. My mom just greets me and she's like, what the hell is that? I just tell my mom to leave me alone. Now, I was never really close to anyone in my family, and my mom, she will just try to invade my privacy or try to be close to me. Hell, she even thinks she is close to me. In reality, she's not really. Because, well, if you're one of my close friends watching this video, yeah, you know what I've gone through. So I just tell her to, leave me alone. I don't want to talk. And my mom decides to make it worse by calling the school, so therefore, I don't know what happened. Now, I was extremely angry. So I went back upstairs and I just, destroyed, a wall, basically. Like, a hole in there. Because I was just pissed. I didn't know what to do, so I was just pissed. I sat down. I turned on my PS4. And I just booted up, Far Cry 5. And I just played that. And then my dad came home. My dad's like, yo, Mango, what's going on? And I told him, well, some kid named James, this and that, the whole story. And my dad was like, oh, so some kid was fucking yourself? Alright, that's cool. That's all I just need to know. Alright, you're not in trouble. I'm like, what, why? He's like, well, if you were defending yourself in a fight, then you're not in trouble at all. Which I think that's, a really good rule. Because, to be honest, it's complete bullshit when schools are like, no, self-defense is not allowed. Because, what do you want the kid to do? You get bullied for getting their ass beat? I think that, if you're, a parent watching this, you should let your kids defend themselves in a fight. That's just common sense. Your kid may not start the fight. As long as your kid doesn't start the fight, basically, then your kid shouldn't face any discipline. That's what I'm trying to say. So, my dad's cool. Now, the next day, I got called down to the guidance counselor's office. No, we're going to call her Miss Collar. Now, Miss Collar was just, a really rude woman. And, well, nobody at my school liked her. No one did. So, when Miss Collar called me down, she's like, yo, what the hell happened yesterday? And I told her the whole thing. I told her that James was being an ass, and he started a fight with me, so I fought back. And she was like, alright, cool. So, we decided to review the footage. Now, I was pretty impressed on how I reacted in the footage. Now, thinking about it now, yeah, I mean, the way that I was fighting was pretty stupid. Sure, getting into fights isn't what I want to do. But back then, 12-year-old me was like, yeah, this is, the type of stuff I want to do in Hotline Miami type stuff. So, I'm sitting there, I'm like, yeah, this is what happened. And she's like, alright, I'm calling in James. So James comes in, James sits down across from me, which I don't know why we're both in the same room, but we are, and well, James actually looked pretty damn guilty about it. So James and her talk about it, and I decide to leave the room. The principal tells me, like, hey, you don't have to stay in here, you can just leave. Now, the principal, she was actually really nice. I liked her a lot, so she pulls me into her office, and she's like, hey, man, what's happened? And I told her, well, I got into a fight with James being an asshole to everyone, and I decided to do something about it, basically, by defending myself. And she's like, oh, alright. She told me, well, you were a really good kid, and, I think it's a shame that, I have to, suspend you. I don't want to do that, believe it or not. Because, well, you're a good kid, and I think that you should be allowed to defend yourself. However, I have to do it. It's part of my job, and I told her, alright. So that's a good sign that the principal did not want to punish me. So she didn't just give me like a full-on suspension. She gave me like an in-school suspension. Now here's the catch though. Since James started the fight, he got a 2-day in-school suspension while I only got a 1-day and a half day of school suspension. Meaning that I didn't really get anything. So I go back, to class because it starts next week, right? And I'm sitting there like, yeah, I just got my ass into some hot water. Kids are looking at me all of a sudden, and I'm like, yeah, I didn't really want to talk about this. So, Vaden comes up to me, and Vaden's like, yo, dude, what happened, bro? I missed out. Because here's the thing, me and Vaden both ride the same bus, but he was not there. I'm pretty sure his mom picked him up. I forgot to add that detail. So I told Vaden, I was like, yo, me and James got into a fight. He's like, yo, that's crazy, dude. I'm like, yeah, that is. Now, Vaden was just starting to be annoying like he is usually, so I just got annoyed. But anyways, I decided to just do the simple thing and just, wait till the next day. So on that day, I just came home, played some GTA 5 with my friends on the PS4, talked to them about it. My dad came over and my dad's like, hey, the principal's not mad at you. She didn't want to, suspend you. I was like, yeah, I know. He's like, listen, don't go around thinking that you're a criminal or some shit all of a sudden. Do keep in mind, like, it's not cool to get in trouble, but you had to defend yourself, so you're off the hook. I'm like, alright, thank you. So, basically, life went on. I served my time in school suspension. James, of course, later, he did end up apologizing to me. He's like, hey, dude, listen, I'm sorry for being an ass to everyone. I'm sorry for starting a fight with you. Can we just be cool? I'm like, yeah, sure, we can be cool. And I think it's a pretty wholesome story, and I do think that, it's actually really wholesome that James does realize that, and, he just wants to be chill with everyone. Because James did realize that, he got himself in trouble, basically. So, I think moral of the story in this video, well, actually, I don't think, I think this is actually the moral of the story, is that, well, just don't start shit with anyone. Just treat others how you want to be treated, because you might, treat the wrong guy terribly, and it might not end well, basically. That's just the whole moral of the story. Anyways, I want to share this. Thank you so much for watching. Now, my commentary does suck ass, so I do plan on changing that. The gameplay here is just me and my buddy Chance playing GTA together. Anyways, this is Mango signing off. I'll see you guys in the next one.